Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Hot Toys Secret Base figure preview video. Now before we begin, I want to say a huge thank you to Ryan Kirkwood once again for going out in person and snapping these absolutely gorgeous high-res pics. Show Ryan some love down in the comments below, because without Ryan, this series literally wouldn't be possible. Also, if you are looking to pre-order your very own Bodega cat suit version of Spidey, he is going up right now with toyswonderland.com. Link for that is down in the description below, and they do have 12-month installment plans if you are a fan of paying off your figures over time. This guy comes with a ton of accessories. Honestly, Hot Toys could have very well called this a DX release, because pretty much what it is it's the advanced suit, the Miles version, obviously, with a bunch of added accessories over the top. He's wearing a hoodie, he's got a backpack, he's got roller skates, and he also has regular shoes as well. They could have very easily made this a DX version of Spidey, but instead they decided to package it into a separate release. I'm not exactly sure how I feel about that, but in the game, granted, it is a completely different suit. And with this one, you get a ton more stuff. First of all, he of course comes with a bunch of hands, which is to be expected. Detail looks fantastic, there's adequate texturing and really awesome paint applications in the web lines, which will of course match the suit itself. You get a bunch of Spidey gesturing hands, and it looks like it has the exact same web shooter attachment method where the palm actually detaches and you replace it with a web shooter piece. If you're wondering what this is actually the top of the backpack that you can interchange with Spider-Man the Cat if you don't want to have him poking out the top of the bag. Now you can see those seam lines around the palm there. That's where that swap out piece comes into play. It worked really well with the upgraded suit Spidey, so I'm glad they're doing that again with this Miles here. And these are the interchangeable pieces that I was talking about. You can see they do have those little teeny tiny posts that peg into the hand. It is a relatively seamless way of doing it. You can also see he does come with his phone. Does have a bunch of text messages on there. I'm pretty sure if you zoomed in, you could see exactly what that said, or just wait for the figure to release, and we'll be able to read them. You can also see a bunch of different eyes, with the aperture at different levels of openness. There's squinting, there's a little bit more wide open, and then the ones that are on him, I'm pretty sure, are fully open. I love the interchangeable lenses on these Spidey figures. It's no secret, we've had these for a while now. They just add a little bit more flair to your Spidey figures, and I'm glad that even in the game, they decided to carry that over. You can see these are his alternate shoes. When this guy was shown at the Mini-Con, I'm pretty sure is what sideshow we're calling it, he only had his roller skates on. But he does come with these eerily Jordan-looking shoes as well, except there's no branding on them. They are red leather sneakers with red soles. They are nicely textured. They look to be a leathery material, but they are sculpted plastic. The only issue for me here is they are a solid plastic piece. That means you will not get pretty much any ankle articulation whatsoever. You can also just make out a spider logo on the back of the shoe. That's a very nice touch by Hot Toys. You also get this sketchbook with a bunch of suit ideas in here. You can also see a bunch of the pages do have different drawings on them. I really like that. You can see Miles' logo, a bunch of different gadgets in there. It's a nice touch. It's a simple thing because it is just printed paper, but it looks really, really cool. Honestly, I probably will have my Miles displayed reading or sketching in this book. It's an absolutely fantastic accessory. You can also see this Daily Bugle newspaper that is folded up. I'm pretty sure you will be able to unfold this, or actually now getting a look at the side profile, it actually looks like a chunk. Maybe it's multiple newspapers that are supposed to be stacked up, or it's a box, potentially for his shoes. I've got no idea. Maybe it was something in the game and I've forgotten. It's been a while since I've played it after all. If you know what that's supposed to be, let me know down in the comments below. He also, of course, comes with a bunch of the usual suspects when it comes to the webs, the typical Spidey array, including that one right there being my personal favorite. It's just got a little bit more attitude to it. It's all spooled up and ready to go. I love that particular web option. You also get two different versions of Spider-Man the Cat. Here is the pouncing one. He's got his little mask on. He looks fantastic. This is an absolutely awesome accessory. I cannot wait to get Spider-Man the Cat here. I don't know if I'll have him out of the backpack or inside the backpack, because of course he does come out when you finish off a few thugs during the takedown. He comes out and gives you a bit of an assist, if you will. I love his little mask there as well, fitting really nicely over his ears. He's also very nicely painted. You can see his stripes down his back there. And yes, he is in midair. You do have a proper metal rod inserted into his chest there to keep him in the air. But yeah, I love this guy. He looks fantastic. No complaints from me. Now here we have the display base. It looks awesome. You've got a Spider-Man Miles logo on there with that sort of comic book dot print effect, and you can see a yellow translucent layer between the top and also between the bottom. It looks really cool. It's a nice pop of color. And here we have the roller skates. I don't remember him having these in the game, so I'm pretty sure this is Hot Toys' own creation. They are really nicely detailed though. There's a bunch of scribbling and doodling on there. There's dirt and grime on the wheels. It also looks like there's some kind of thruster type piece on the back. Either way, if you are putting together a custom of some kind and you do need these rollerblades that say jet blades on them, is this something from the comics that I'm just not aware of? I am quite curious because, yeah, they do have these little thrusters on the sides there, so potentially they're supposed to be some sort of jet engine propulsion system for Spidey's rollerblades. Very, very interesting. On the other side, however, you do have an energy effect for the Venom Strike. He's obviously activated it in his foot here. I love this energy effect. It's a really nice, punchy, vibrant yellow up front. Then it fades towards a more translucent look to the electricity towards the back. He does also come with one for the fist, and you will see that in just a second. But yeah, there's a lot of doodling on here. It is suitably grimy, especially on the wheels. I wouldn't be surprised if these wheels can actually roll. Obviously, he's not going to be very easy to have standing up in the rollerblades, but you will be able to swap them out for his regular shoes if you just want him standing on the display base. So yeah, you're not necessarily married to having to use these rollerblades. Now as for the suit, we've already pretty much seen this. I would have loved to have seen a white version of the suit. That would have been awesome. Or even the track suit. That would have been great as well. I'm not complaining. I love Spider-Man the Cat, and this suit combo works really nicely. It's a super easy reuse by Hot Toys, and I'm all about that. Wherever they can reuse parts and pieces to save a little bit of money, I'm all for that, because that means they have a little bit more in the kitty to give us other designs for Spidey. But this suit looks as good as ever. If you haven't already, go ahead and check out the first Miles Advanced Suit preview video, cause we discussed this suit in a lot more detail. I love the metallic red, I love the texture, it has multiple different lines and patterns on it, it looks fantastic. It's also made out of that rubbery style material, which will give you the most accurate look to the game possible in 1/6 scale. However, I do understand if the rubbery suit is not for you. A lot of people will say, well, what's the use in having a Spidey figure if you can't pose him? Not the case at all. You can pose him, it's just going to be up to you whether or not you can live with the creases. After all, fabric is fabric, and fabric creases. If you do want something that's chock full of joints and is all broken up in the sculpt, then you can get a Mafex figure or a Figuarts release. Those are fantastic options. They're really well sculpted, they're really nicely painted, but they are full of joints, so you don't have to worry about the fabric being damaged. You're asking Hot Toys to put joints in a figure over using a rubber suit. Kind of defeats the purpose of them even existing if they're just going to copy what the other companies do, just scale it up to 1/6 scale. It really does make zero sense when you sit down and have a think about it. Hot Toys' #1 goal is realism, taking what you see on screen and translating it as flawlessly as possible into figure format. That's exactly what they've done here. They aren't necessarily using the exact same material. Someone said recently on the anti-Oxsuit video that he should have been using real metal armor. When I'm saying they're capturing the look of the thing, I don't necessarily mean they're using the exact same material that it's supposed to be. They're just making it look as it should be in 1/6 scale, so please don't confuse yourself when you're thinking about that. As for the hoodie, as you can see, he is wearing it over his suit. You can also see Spider-Man the cat in his backpack just poking up the top there. So yes, it is an interchangeable piece. You do have to actually remove Spider-Man the cat and that top flap for the backpack and peg it in. So I do believe it will be a rubbery style piece, or, an ABS style plastic backpack, rather than being actual material. Nevertheless, it works perfectly fine for me. I wasn't going to store anything in there anyway. Spider-Man the cat is the one that'll be going in the bag, and here you can see him poking over Miles' shoulder there. He also has a Spidey logo up front and center on his hoodie. Looks to be spray painted on. I wouldn't expect anything less from Miles here, and it looks suitably badass. He also has his headphones up on top. This guy comes with a ton of accessories. I mean, you saw most of them earlier, but here you can see the headphones and the Venom Strike attachment for the fist. When the light hits it just right, it looks suitably lit up, like an electric lightning effect should. It looks totally awesome. Once again, it starts off with a more vibrant yellow up front, then fades away to a translucent effect towards the end there. I love these. They're awesome. I wish Hot Toys would include more effect pieces, because I think they are getting better and better. Some of their earlier ones didn't necessarily work out, but this one does look fantastic. And now I see why they did that interchangeable piece for the inner side of the palm for the web shooter. It's because he does have his web shooters attached to the outside of his hoodie arm there. Very interesting design on the game designer's part, and obviously Hot Toys for translating it into figure format. Hot Toys have once again used a plastic head sculpt. It's my preferred way of doing a Spidey masked head sculpt. I wish that they would do the same thing for the Tom Holland MCU Spideys, because it captures the shape of the head a lot better, because you don't have to worry about a fabric layer going over the top and how that's going to attach and not move around when you go to move the head, and you have to make a few sacrifices. With this, you don't have to do that. Plus, you don't have to worry about the fabric getting snagged when you're trying to pull out the eyes, which has happened more than once to my figures. It's very, very frustrating. It's a little bit more delicate. This way, you don't have to worry about it at all. It's pre-sculpted. You pop the eyes in and out. It's super easy. And yeah, it looks fantastic. I love the super punchy, vibrant color of the red for the eyes there, and also the red around the top part of his headphones. Kind of looking like Beats there, Hot Toys, but of course, no branding, so no harm, no foul. Perfectly fine. The rest of him, as you can see, looks fantastic. He can pose up a treat, and because the upper torso is fully covered, technically you could go crazy with the posing. I would imagine there is a full suit underneath, but I can't confirm that until he eventually does come out. So technically you could potentially just pick up this guy once it is confirmed he has a full suit underneath, if you don't want to pick up this guy as well as the advanced suit. Totally up to you though. If you do want to pre-order him, he is going up right now with toyswonderland.com. Link for that is of course down in the description below. And yes, they do have 12-month installment plans if you are a fan of paying off your figures over time. Also, while you are down there, why not check out the link to 6 Scale Network, the awesome Facebook group. Come along, chat figures, share photos of your collection, and of course, see what's coming up next on the channel. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.